What a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Kevin. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day and sharing with us the neighborhood board here in Chinatown.
Thank you, Lila. It's been my pleasure over the past year to have served as the chairman of Downtown-Chinatown Neighborhood Board number 13. We're very proud of the work that we do there and the information that we bring to our community. And during my tenure as chair, it was my goal to convey information from different groups that do work in and around our community to let our constituents and our elected officials who represent our district know what's going on.
But it must be really enlivening, I guess, for you to be in a leadership role with the community and helping the community understand more.
During the past year, I did develop some methods for our community to learn more about what's going on, such as implementing an electronic online presence for our board so that our agenda items, our presentations, different resolutions that we discuss were all made available to our constituents to review during, before, and after our meetings so they can have a better idea of what's going on.
And what are you finding from the constituents' responses?
I think that there are many groups that are steadfastly passionate about Chinatown and the historic nature of Chinatown. And it's really great to see that people are able to want to preserve that historic aspect that we have here and maybe keep downtown Chinatown area from becoming what other parts of the island have become, trying to maintain our distinctness.
So you've lived downtown for quite a while, being part of the board as well. What have you noticed in terms of growth, change?
There's no doubt that things are different now than what they were, say, 10, even 15 years ago. And that change has not always been for the better. Our residents, our business owners, all come to our meetings and let us know about the concerns that they have. Chinatown and downtown face a number of chronic, literally debilitating issues, from homelessness, illicit drug use, mental health issues, disrespect of property rights. And these are all very concerning because without addressing those, it's difficult to see a fruitful path forward for our part of the island to become revitalized.
And those are the people issues. We also have infrastructure concerns, and certainly with climate change and rising water. Do you address those as well?
It's come up several times. In fact, while we were considering a potential site for relocation of Central Fire Station, one site that was proposed was relatively close to Nimitz Highway in the area, relatively near the water, and relatively near where a potential future rail station would be built. And yet that site was not permitted or duly considered, we felt, by the Honolulu Fire Department to be a potential site for a relocated station.
So when we look to the future, what do you envision?
I'd love to see a place where Chinatown has regained the vibrancy that it used to have. I can recall very vividly some of the street festivals that we would have where, for example, Nu'uanu Avenue was blocked off and there was a literal red carpet running down the middle of the road for a fashion show or something like that, really drawing all sorts of people into that part of town. Really joyous, festive time. Even if we discount the impact of the recent pandemic, we just haven't seen that sort of passion or excitement in the area. But I think there are some ways that we could begin to reinvigorate the area. Some of these ideas have been brought up at our neighborhood board meetings in the past, over the past several years, in fact. And I think that this is a prime time to begin to brainstorm, to find the right groups that will be able to lead the charge. And it will take a combination of both the private and public sector.
You know, many visitors don't know about this area. There's Chinatowns in every city. How will we distinguish ourselves?
Our Chinatown is often billed as either the oldest or the second oldest Chinatown in all of America, simply because of the way our city was built and the influx of different groups here over the past century and more. That's something that should be celebrated. We have plenty of history here, historic buildings. There are many details on our buildings in the Chinatown area, which, if you look up just beyond street level, but up to the second or third floor, you can see these ornate different details that are fascinating and make for great objects for art, photography, painting, many of which we see here at the Downtown Arts Center. What I'd like to do is see Chinatown become a destination on our island of Oahu, just as Waikiki and other resorts area. In the near future, if and when rail comes and we have rail stations that are in the proximity of Chinatown, it will be great for folks to take a day tour from the resorts here to our town, in Chinatown, stop at a place such as the Downtown Arts Center, have a chance to devise a walking path through our area, which will take them past any number of merchants, food stalls, and circle back before they head back to wherever they may be staying.
Well, and perhaps you can already pilot this with the schools and having some of our young people, many of our young people, come down and understand that this is part of who they are as well.
That'd be a great educational opportunity for those that may be less well versed in the history here. The more that we can share information about this part of town, look to preserve its culture, along the way improve the business aspects of this part of town. Let's see if we can find a way to get rid of the boarded up storefronts, the graffiti laden areas, spruce it up, and understand that that's very important for tourists when they come. I can recall vividly back in 2019 when, before the pandemic, I was spending some time on Honshu Island in Japan, hiking in the Kii Peninsula, came out of the woods in Wakayama province at a large ornate gate, 33 meters tall, and nearby was a fantastic cultural heritage center. The staff there were immaculately polite, they were patient, they were polyglottal, and they could help arrivals design their next path and help them understand the area. And there was an art exhibit similar to this right in the same building as well. So I think the examples are there, and that's what I'm thinking about when I'm trying to envision how we could improve the area.
Well, and especially because we have our culture here, not only the Hawaiian culture, but also the mixture of ethnicities that make up Chinatown.
Absolutely. There's no shortage of different historical societies that would be willing to share their culture, have their representatives here, make sure that no one is left out.
Well, thank you very much for your time and for helping us give that vision.
Thank you, Lila.
Thank you. You've just had the pleasure of getting to know Kevin Lai, the chairperson for the Downtown Chinatown Neighborhood Board number 13.